The wind howled across the red valley of the frontier world. Ethan Cross walked alone between burned ridges, his medical scanner flickering weakly in his hand. He was a field medic from Earth, stationed on a border planet where humans and alien tribes fought over minerals no one really needed. His unit had pulled back 2 days ago after a violent skirmish. But Ethan stayed behind to search for survivors. He could not leave people to die no matter their species. The dust was thick and hot, filling the air with the smell of metal and smoke. Every few meters he stopped, scanning for life. The machine only beeped faintly, showing nothing but dead terrain. He was about to turn back when a faint signal blinked on the display, almost gone. He followed it up a rocky hill, climbing over shattered ground. Near the top, half buried in ash, he saw movement. A small hand, slender, faintly glowing blue, trembled from beneath the debris. Ethan dropped to his knees and started digging with his gloves. The rocks were hot and heavy, burning through the fabric, but he ignored the pain. Finally, he uncovered a young alien girl, no older than 20 by human guess. Her silver hair was tangled with dust, her skin faintly luminous with shifting patterns like flowing water. Her chest rose weakly, but her breathing was shallow. She wore armor of strange crystal plates, cracked and smoking from plasma burns. Ethan checked her pulse and whispered, "Hang on, you're alive. You're going to be fine." Her eyelids fluttered. Her pupils were shaped like glowing rings, reflecting him back. She tried to speak, but only managed a whisper that sounded like his name. That froze him for a moment. How could she know it? He pushed the thought away and lifted her carefully into his arms. His suit sensors screamed warnings. Radiation from the battle lingered in the area. He hurried down the slope toward the shelter he had set up earlier, every step heavy under her weight. Inside the small tent, he laid her on a med bed and started his emergency kit. He cleaned the burns, sealed wounds with biofoam, and injected nanomedicine from his last dose. The girl winced, her breathing sharp then steadied. Ethan's visor flashed green. Her vitals were improving. He exhaled slowly, finally allowing himself to feel relief. Outside, the storm grew louder, rattling the shelter. He checked the power cell. It was nearly empty, but it would hold for the night. Hours passed. The alien girl stirred in her sleep, mumbling words in her own tongue. Ethan sat nearby, writing in his log. Unknown female, species Thalri, recovered near Sector Delta 9. Patient stable but in critical fatigue. Possible neural trauma. He looked at her again. Even through the dust, she seemed strangely peaceful now, like a light glowing in the dark. When the first rays of the twin suns entered the valley, she woke. Her eyes opened fully, shining bright blue, and she stared at him with confusion and fear. She tried to move but winced, holding her side. Ethan raised his hands gently. "Easy. You're safe. You were injured, but I treated you." She blinked, her expression unreadable, then spoke in broken galactic standard. "Why, you help me? Human killed Thalari. Always." Her voice was soft but trembling. Ethan shook his head. "Not me. I don't fight, I heal. You were alive, so I helped. That's all." She frowned, studying his face as if searching for some hidden motive. "You no want reward?" she asked. He smiled faintly. "No. Just seeing you breathe again is enough reward." For a long time she said nothing. Then she lowered her gaze, whispering words in her own language that his translator could not catch. When she looked back up, there were tears glowing on her cheeks. "You not understand what you did," she said quietly. "You change everything." Before Ethan could reply, a faint hum echoed outside the tent. His scanner detected multiple approaching signals, 3 moving fast. He reached for his communicator, but the signal was jammed. The alien girl tried to sit up despite the pain. "No, they come for me," she murmured. "My sisters." Her voice trembled with both fear and hope. "They think I dead." Ethan stepped outside. Through the storm, he saw 3 shimmering figures descending from the hills. They moved like silver fire, their armor alive with light. One shouted in a strange dialect, and the girl inside answered weakly. When they reached the shelter, the tallest sister looked at Ethan with piercing eyes. "You human?" she asked through a translator. He nodded carefully. "I am. She was dying. I helped." The sister looked down at the wounded girl, then back at him. Something shifted in her expression. Respect, confusion, perhaps even gratitude. "You save her life," she said slowly. "Then you are bound. Our law says the healer belongs to the one he saves, and to her blood." Ethan blinked in disbelief. "I think there's been a misunderstanding." But she interrupted firmly. "No mistake. You are chosen by 3. The other 2 sisters knelt beside their sibling, checking her wounds. The youngest smiled at Ethan shyly. You did good, human. Now you come with us. It is rule. Ethan glanced at the storming horizon, then back at the sisters, uncertain. He had stayed behind to save a life, but it seemed that Act had started something far greater. As the winds howled around them, he realized he might never be just a medic again. The bond had already begun, and none of them could yet see where it would lead. The air was still thick with dust when Ethan followed the alien sisters through the valley. His boots sank into soft red soil that shimmered faintly under the strange suns. None of them spoke for a long time. The wounded girl, Lyra, was supported by her 2 sisters. Vela, tall and sharp-eyed, and Sora, smaller, with a curious look that kept drifting toward him. Ethan kept his medical kit strapped to his side, ready in case Lyra collapsed again. They reached a narrow canyon where a hidden shuttle waited. It looked grown rather than built, like crystal and bone fused together. When the door opened, a soft pulse of blue light scanned Ethan from head to toe. He froze, but Vela just said, "It marks you now." "You belong with us," he frowned. "I didn't agree to anything." Vela looked at him seriously. "You saved a Thalri heart. The bond is not yours to choose." The shuttle rose into the sky with a smooth hum. Through the window, Ethan watched the battlefield fade behind them. For the first time in months, he felt no command channel in his ear. No mission orders, only silence. He tried to rest, but the alien ship felt alive, breathing softly around him. Lyra stirred on the bed beside him. "You're not afraid?" she asked quietly. Ethan shook his head. "No, I've seen worse places." She smiled weakly. "Then you will see our home." When the shuttle entered orbit, Ethan saw the Thalri capital for the first time. It floated above the planet's surface, a vast web of glowing structures connected by bridges of light. It looked like a living organism stretched across the sky. The sisters led him to a platform guarded by silent warriors. The air smelled faintly of ozone and flowers. Everything seemed to hum with energy. A group of elders waited, their eyes glowing in shifting colors. They bowed to Lyra, then turned toward Ethan. One of them spoke through a translator drone. "The human who heals has arrived. The bond is sealed." Ethan blinked. "Wait, bond? What does that mean exactly?" The elder smiled faintly. "It means you are of their line now. Their mother will see you." He followed the sisters through a long corridor that pulsed with slow heartbeats of light. At the end stood a tall alien woman with silver veins across her skin, Matron Calith, ruler of their house. Her presence filled the chamber like a storm. When she looked at Ethan, he felt both fear and calm at once. "So this is the healer," she said, her voice like echoing chimes. "You risked your life to save my daughter." Ethan nodded. "Anyone would have done the same." "No," she said softly. "Not anyone. Many humans would have turned away." She circled him slowly. "Do you know our custom?" Ethan hesitated. "Your people believe a life saved creates some kind of bond." Calith nodded. "When one Thalri life is restored, the healer becomes linked to her and her blood sisters. Your act binds you to 3 hearts. You are one of us now." Ethan tried to protest. "With respect, that's not how humans," but Sora interrupted with a laugh. "Too late, human. You are family. The bond is done." Vela shot her a sharp look. "Show respect, sister. The bond is sacred." Calith raised a hand to silence them. "You will remain among us until the link is proven complete. If your heart rejects the connection, it will fade. But if it accepts, your life and ours will merge in ways you cannot yet understand." Ethan exhaled slowly. He didn't know what to say. He hadn't meant for any of this to happen. All he'd done was save a wounded girl. Now 3 alien sisters and an entire house treated him like someone chosen by fate. That night, they gave him a small chamber overlooking the glowing city. Through the window, he saw spires breathing light into the dark sky. The walls seemed alive, whispering faint sounds like distant songs. He couldn't sleep. His translator earpiece hummed faintly, replaying what the matron had said. 3 hearts are claimed. Suddenly, the door slid open. Lyra stood there, wearing a loose garment that shimmered with her bioluminescent patterns. "You can't rest," she said quietly. "The bond keeps you awake." "It is forming." Ethan sat up. "Forming? What does that mean?" She stepped closer, her voice gentle. "When we heal, we share our energy. You gave yours to save me. Now it returns, connecting you to us. You will feel what we feel." He stared at her in disbelief. You're saying I'll be able to feel your emotions? Lyra nodded. And we yours. It is how the Thalri understand love and loyalty. It cannot be faked. Ethan rubbed his face. I never asked for this. I know, she said softly. But neither did I. Yet here we are, joined by choice made in kindness. There was silence for a while. Outside, the alien city glowed brighter as night deepened. Lyra looked at him with calm eyes. My sisters are curious about you. Vela doubts humans can feel true empathy. Sora believes you are different. I only know you saved me when you didn't have to. Ethan smiled faintly. That's just what humans do when someone's in trouble. She studied him for a long time, then whispered, then maybe humanity and Thalri are not so different after all. When she left, Ethan looked out again at the living city. He could sense faint emotions at the edge of his mind, warmth, curiosity, and something like trust. He didn't understand how, but it felt real. Somewhere deep inside, a connection had begun to grow between the human and the three alien sisters. And though he didn't know where it would lead, one thing was certain: his life would never be the same again.